Ever wondered why some persons tend to struggle in a certain industry, even when they are very skilled at what they do? They could be a good programmer, they can have a good product, they could have quality products, but then there are contemporaries that seem to be less skillful than they are, or that seem to have less quality product than they do, tend to strive more, or possibly might have dominated the market than them. They tend to struggle in their own space. If that sounds like you, this video is for you. Do you know that for you to be able to have large market share in a certain industry you belong, you have to understand some certain things? It is very good that you are skilled at what you do. It's very good that your product is of good quality. However, if you don't have some certain knowledge, you will just keep struggling in that little space you are, while your contemporaries would have been doing greatly in wherever they are. And this knowledge is what would actually give you an edge over every other person. You first of all have to understand the business side of whatever you are doing. There is the product knowledge side in whatever you are doing, which is very good, which we could also say there is the skillful side of whatever you are doing, that you could be a very skillful programmer, you could be a very skillful engineer, you could be a very skillful graphic designer. That is very good, but then if you don't understand the business angle of your industry, you would not make it in that industry, or you end up struggling for a very long time until you understand these certain things. And this is what the rich has come to understand. When the rich work in a certain industry, they don't work to be paid, they work to understand the systems and the structure of that particular business industry, because they know while they are living here, they are going to set system that would enable them to run the same business and dominate the market over time. But when the poor and middle class work in a certain place, what they do, they focus on just increasing their paycheck, getting promoted, hitting targets. That is what they focus on. But the rich focuses on understanding the business structure, understanding the dynamics of the business, and this is what makes both parties, and this is what makes the rich different from the poor. You see, the business model of apprenticeship is what the rich applies when they work in a certain space, or when they actually work in a certain industry. When they work in a certain industry, or when they are understudying a certain business, all right, they want to understand the business structures, how the business work, the decision makers of the business, if it's a competitive market or if it's a less competitive market, how is the purchase made. Now they want to understand how the purchase is made, if it's B2C, business to business, if it is business to customer, if it is business to government. The most viable way to get their product or services to the hand of as many people as possible and as seamless as possible. Now get this, to get their product or services to the hands of as much people as possible and as seamless as possible. So the rich understand this, and they build a business model around their understanding of the structure of that industry. They build a working business model that help them channel this process from the place of production, or from the place of converting this skill to sellable or solutionable products, right? From that point to as much customers as possible. So this business model they created guarantees this process. It's what we'll be looking at, and I will share in a bit.